Faith Family Culture with Luke and Susie, and you can stay in touch on the SMS 0417 555 Suze, I think there's one of the things that is the greatest experience in your life is when you eventually get round to cleaning out a car and keeping it, getting it all spiffy and in order. You make a lot of money doing that because we actually are really bad, most of us, with kids at keeping that car organised. So we find coins and money and old food. Oh. How do you keep a car all together when you've got little kids? From Little Miss Organised, Bonnie, hello. The cars are like a wrecking yard at times.
Look, the car's like a hidden playground for all the dirty secrets you never want to reveal.
So, Little Miss Organised, how do you keep your car organised and clean and on top of it?
Oh, look, I think it's just a matter of not having too much stuff in there in the first place and just being fastidious, really, about emptying it when you get home and, filling it back up with the stuff that you need. So I really encourage people to only keep in there what they absolutely need. So for me, who's got young children, I've got my pram in there, we've got a picnic blanket and a hat for me, but nothing, and an umbrella, but nothing else that stays in the car or in the boot and takes up space, because those are the things that wherever we are, they're useful and I like having them there. But for a lot of people, they have just so much stuff in there, and these cars really become this their cars really become this mobile dumping ground for all their shoes and their clothes and their wet togs and things like that. So the problem becomes an issue with having too much stuff in the car when we just are not emptying it.
So the simple solution is every time you get home, take out anything that you put in that trip.
Yeah, exactly, because let's face it, the stuff didn't walk into the car by itself. Someone's put it in there. So someone needs to take responsibility for getting it out of there. And if that's your child's put it in there and you have to take it out, then so be it. It's about stepping up to the plate, really, and actually just emptying it out and making sure that you're not taking too much stuff in there in the first place.
Yeah, you say that they didn't walk in there, but if you've seen some of the stuff in my car, it has legs and some of it has wings as well. So, I mean, anything's possible.
I do remember seeing one time, Bonnie, that someone said that anything that is loose in your car, anything that is not a part of the car, in case of an accident, die. And so that's why it's important that you take stuff out of your car every time and don't just leave stuff in there, because if it happens that you have an accident, those things can actually end up doing more damage to the kids in the car.
That's exactly right. And I think a lot of people forget that, and they have a lot of heavy stuff floating around, and, even just a kid's shoe on the bottom of the car, like those things are lethal.
Yeah.
Especially the smell.
Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But even things like water bottles, if they're sitting in the car heat for too long, they stop being good. Like they're not safe or something
exactly
to drink
right.
as
The
well.
plastic starts to, break down, and nobody should be drinking that. So, it's interesting how many people do keep a lot of stuff in their car because they don't have time when they get home to empty it out. But it really does become a breeding ground for germs, and it's also not modelling to our kids the sort of behaviour that we want them to take into their rooms. So how can we expect our kids to keep their rooms nice and tidy and organised if we are showing them in the rest of the house and in our car that we don't mind having dirt around, or we don't mind it being cluttered and disorganised?
Boom! Bringing it home, Little Miss Organised.
I've got an answer to that. Right. Because we take all the stuff from their bedroom and store it in the car.
It is simple solutions to problems that really don't need to be there. Little Miss Organised, Bonnie, thank you so much for bringing some common sense to car organisation today.
No problem, guys. Chat next time.